Malibu, California, where there are more exotic cars than, well, these. But on a cloudless June day, a Singularity silently cruises down the Pacific Coast Highway. Porsche has shipped the all-electric Mission E Cross Turismo concept to this coastal California town. 4 lucky American auto riders will drive it. I have drawn a long straw. The first Mission E that Porsche showed at the 2015 Frankfurt Auto Show was a 4-door sports sedan similar to the Panamera. It will go into production in 2019. The Cross Turismo here that debuted at the 2018 Geneva Motor Show is more of a wagony crossover. Porsche has not officially committed to production, but think of the business case. The Macan Sport Ute is Porsche's most popular vehicle. Along for the ride is Dr. Stefan Weckbach, the vice president of the company's battery electric vehicle program. A Porsche veteran, he steered development of the 718. I can't stress this enough. The Cross Turismo is a concept car. Usually that means a golf cart engine lays under the hood. This one uses early Mission E prototype motors and batteries governed by software to produce less than the production car's anticipated 600 horsepower. No torque figures are offered. Charge ports grace both front fenders. Inductive matte charging is a strong possibility. The production weight of the Mission E Sport sedan is unknown, but Dr. Weckbach says it will be 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds lighter than this concept. First up, I'm given a tour of the cabin.
We can start with the instrument cluster right away. Is like one of the most important aspects of the Porsche interior experience. That's clearly inspired by the original 911s. You know, we have the round gauges. The most important information is at the center. Basically took a lot of cues from our heritage and then reinterpreted for the new digital age.
And all of this is touchscreen.
That's all touchscreen. Yeah, I mean this one is the center infotainment system for both users to interact with. We have the most important information on the home screen. There's ways to personalize it, but we took great care of simplifying the experience because at the end of the day, we're sitting in a car, we're sitting in a sports car, and we want to make sure that the focus is on the road. And then we have the passenger infotainment system. We said every seat in the vehicle deserves like a clear focus and attention.
This all looks somewhat production ready.
It does, yeah, and it is. In fact, the displays, the steering wheel, the instrument cluster, all of this, that's production hardware.
There's plenty of blue trim throughout the cabin that Porsche says is a Mission E signature. That's echoed in the anodized wheels. While the 90 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery lies flat beneath the passenger compartment, a high console divides the seats front and rear. And by the way, this space is not habitable. It's just for show. Porsche famously puts the ignition on the door side of the steering wheel. Here, there is none. It's a concept. It might be under the hood. I can't show you that the bay is packed full of electronics. I'm told the production car will have a frunk, similar in size to a 911. Well, I'm very excited to drive this. Also a little terrified. There's one of these in the world, right?
There's exactly one of these in the world, yes.
There are 3 main ground rules. 1, my time is limited to 2 hours, including shooting this video. 2, distance is capped at 12 miles. And 3, perhaps most important, no damage can be done to the car. Apparently, I am the first journalist to ever drive the Cross Turismo. Don't want to be the last. My first task is to back it up.
All right, let's go.
With no cameras and mirrors that are fixed in a very bad position for me.
Excellent.
No pressure.
And we just follow the police car.
Because this car is unlicensed and has no certifiable safety features, we will be flanked front and rear by LA County Sheriff cruisers. My speed is governed to 50 miles an hour. It's a comfort as they block traffic as I pull out onto the PCH. Remember, it's one of one. How long have you been working on this project?
I basically started working on the project back in 2014 when we've been given the task of developing the brand's first fully electric car. So it's almost like 4 years now. We started to build the Mission E for Frankfurt, our first concept car, the sports coupe. And after having lined up the sports coupe for the series production, we thought about expanding the Mission E model line, and we've been discussing different body styles, different segments, different alternatives. And then we ended up in the car you're driving today, the Cross Turismo, as a car that's a little bit more lifestyle oriented. It's a car for people who do sports, who want to use the car for the leisure activities, like for skiing, for cycling, for surfing or whatever. And you can see later the acceleration of the car is already quite nice, even though it's, as we said, power restricted and a little bit too heavy.
We wind into the hills above Malibu. It's a concept, and the extra weight can be felt, but it offers up a chance to read the tea leaves, as it were.
Comforting to be flanked by highway patrol forward and rear.
Yes.
Usually that would make me nervous.
Yes.
Well, the acceleration is there.
It's there, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be heavy and governed, but the signature instant torque of electric motors is present and accounted for. Porsche claims the production sports sedan will do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and the company tends to be conservative.
So Porsche is a brand that is obviously about performance, and in the past, performance has all been about sound. This doesn't really have any sound. It's remarkably quiet.
Yes, it doesn't have a sound right now. For the series car, we will have two different things we're currently developing. On the one hand, there's a legally required pedestrian safety sound.
Sure.
That's going to be in the car.
Yeah.
And then we're currently discussing about another, you can call it like an emotional sound of the car, which has to fulfill in our discussions two main things. It's, on the one hand, it must be authentic. There's going to be, if we're going to offer this sound, if we're going to have the sound, there will be one sound for the Porsche, for the Mission E worldwide. It's just one sound, authentic sound. And the second one, which is much more important, is that the sound is not going to be any synthetic sound, but it's technology related. So we're going to take the sound and the noise of the electrical motors, of the power electronics. We're going to make it a little bit modulated. We're going to amplify it maybe a little bit, but it's technology related and therefore authentic.
Okay. So there is going to be a sound and it will be enhanced, but it's not going to sound like a petrol engine.
No, definitely not. And it will be possible to switch it on or switch it off, like our sports exhaust right now we have in our combustion cars. Because lots of people who are familiar with fully electric cars, they really like the silence of the car. So something like silence is the new power. And so we will offer both ways for our customers in the Mission E. On the one hand,
While Dr. Weckbach says Porsche has bought a number of electric cars to experience and benchmark, including a Tesla Model S, it's not chasing after any one competitor.
There's a lot of talk about the Mission E, or whatever it's going to be called in production, that it's your Tesla killer. Why don't you speak to that?
Yes, there's a lot of discussion in the media about that topic, but this is nothing we are internally discussing about or we're aiming at. Tesla has done a wonderful job during the last years. They've been driving electromobility globally. They've been showing a great entrepreneurship. They offering nice cars, and they are a competitor to us like any other. What we are doing is we are focusing on ourselves. Our main target is to make the Mission E become a real Porsche. So we're setting our internal goals, our brand targets, and this is what we're focusing at. We're not focusing on any competitor too much.
The production Mission E will be a dual-motor all-wheel drive vehicle with active torque vectoring ability, rear-wheel steering too. An air suspension can add nearly 2 inches of ground clearance.
The technological basis of the Cross Turismo could be, or would be, if we do the car, it's going to be the same as in the sports coupe. So we're basically ready. We're going to use the same platform.
Tesla's Achilles heel is extreme performance. The Model S enters a power-sapping protection mode if pushed hard on a racetrack after short distances. Mission E development cars are being wrung out on the Nürburgring, and Dr. Weckbach promises repeatable and sustained performance.
That's actually a pretty good sound.
It is, yeah, I like it as well.
I did not attempt four-wheel drifts, but the low center of gravity can certainly be felt, and the hefty steering weight is just the way I like it.
I have to say, for a concept car, this drives awfully well. So obviously, batteries in the floor for lower center of gravity.
Yes, it's an underfloor battery, resulting in a center of gravity that's even lower than in our 911.
This handles well.
The genes for a sports car are there in the Mission E.
There's little talk from the company about semi-autonomous driving tech like autopilot. Executives admit it will be necessary in the future as both a safety feature and teaching tool, but Porsche knows its clients are most interested in driving.
And you folks have a brand new factory that you're opening to make the Mission E.
Yes, we don't have it yet, but we're currently building it. So we decided that the Mission E, the production car, will be built in Zuffenhausen. This is where the origin and the heart of our company is. It's not that we are only offering electrified or fully electric cars in the future. The Porsche product strategy is basically based on 3 different pillars. On the one hand, we have our sports cars, combustion engines, lightweight cars like the GT3 RS we just presented, or the GT2, or our regular 911 versions. The second pillar are our electrified drivetrains, the plug-in hybrids, which are quite successful right now by introducing the second generation of the plug-in hybrid in the Panamera. In Europe right now, there's a order intake rate of more than 50, almost more than 60% of the plug-in hybrids in the Panamera right now.
Yeah, so electrification has already started.
Yes, it has already started, and the third pillar would then be our fully electric cars, which will start with the Mission E next year.
Stefan claims Mission E's real-world range is over 300 miles and says while 80% of charging will be done at home, a charging network is critical. It plans a unique 800-volt turbocharging network where an 80% charge delivers 250 miles in 15 minutes. It plans 300 stations in the U.S. by the end of 2019, 2/3 of them 800-volt systems. There's enough space here for a weekend trip, even more when you consider there's a front trunk in the production car. I like the unique cargo tie-down track, love the big glass roof, but not the distracting shadows that the pattern creates. And designers, feel free to leave these off. They look busy. The paint, with tiny flecks that match the Malibu sky, is beautiful. While the Mission E Cross Turismo concept is just that, a concept, it offers a clear definition of Porsche's plans. Electrification is not new tech to the company. It already has Cayenne and Panamera plug-in hybrids, and don't forget the 918 Spyder. Wisely, Porsche is sticking with its cultivated performance heritage rather than chasing high-tech or any other brand. The lighter, more powerful production car should be a rush on roads like these. I'm looking forward to driving it, and for more than 12 miles. Now, because I had such a short time with the car, and only 12 miles, I used Porsche's running footage. It had to be done. I used as much of my own footage as possible. As clever as the Mission E name is, E-Mission, get it? I'm assuming it will be renamed. I will go with Maracaibo, after a lake in Venezuela that can see 28 lightning strikes per minute. It's just a wild-ass guess. It's a bit long, but appropriate. Here's a little surprise Stefan shared in the hills.
We already started a couple of years earlier, but almost nobody knows on a electrified Boxster for research reasons. So we started this before 2010. I think it was 2008 or 2009.
Oh, really?
Built up a fleet of fully electric Boxsters.
Really?
Yes, for research reasons. And this fleet has been operated for the last years and basically given us insights into the different components in a fully electric car.
There you go. Hope you enjoyed my quick look at the Mission E Cross Turismo by Porsche. Obviously not a production car, but I think we can read the tea leaves here. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.